came in and I came out again. I'm here. Wow, I was overwhelmed with the video there. What a powerful entrance. I love it. Welcome to the Women of Power Hour. My name is Laura Topper, and I'm just feeling so excited to be here today with a gorgeous, glorious beam of light. She's here radiating backstage. I can feel her love coming through. I'm here in the UK and my earrings are going crazy here. And and Gina, yes, Gina Colvario Krupka is here waiting to come on. And I wanted to just share a little about her. First of all, welcome to you. Welcome into this Women of Power Hour. This is where we get to explore and unfold and revel in the joy of bringing our work forwards in the world. If we identify as a woman or with the divine feminine within each of us, you know, this is non-gendered. This is about an energy and a consciousness and how we tap into this and use it and be it for our lives. And I know that Gina, oh wow, Gina really certainly is an individual and a woman of power with everything that she is doing here on New Thought Media Network as a practitioner and ministering herself and set to take her licensing and paneling to become the minister that she already is. I know next week, really exciting. And Gina's work is really based in joy. And that's what we're going to ooze into today on the show. And I just want to share a little about Gina. I mean, it's a short piece here, and yet it really doesn't sum up the immensity and the power of what Gina brings and who Gina is and what she stands for in this life right now. So Gina Colvario Krupka is blessed to be a wife, a proud mother of 2, and a grandmother of 4. Oh, I love that. She's received her certificate of ministerial education from the Holmes Institute, yes, and the School of Consciousness Studies, and the School of Spiritual Leadership, based with the Florida campus, where I've been based for spiritual education. Gina is a licensed religious science practitioner, and she's the spiritual director of CSL Greater Boston, which meets every Sunday, both in person and virtually here on New Thought Media Network. Gina is a proud member of the prayer team here on New Thought Media Network, and where she hosts and produces her 2 weekly live shows, the Peace Circle and Finding the Joy in the Journey. And Gina is the founder of Believe in You Today, absolutely, a certified life coach, published author of 3 books, an absolute rambling poet. I know that I had to put that in here, a motivational speaker with over 25 years of experience in speaking and coaching and training and teaching and motivating and empowering and inspiring. I'm filling in your bio here, Gina, and her passion is helping people to realize their potential and live happy and fulfilled lives. And she's available for private life or spiritual coaching and trainings and workshops. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to share here today. Welcome to the Women of Power Hour, Gina.
Thank you for asking me. What a blessing it is to be here with you. See it, and this beautiful woman that is leading is, you know, just as kind and loving and joyful off the camera as she is on the camera. So what a gift it is to be here with you. And you know, we have been blessed to be friends. I'm blessed to have you. It's been 4 years and it has been wonderful.
I know it's been 4 years in the physical, and yet it's not 4 years. It's an eternal friendship, an eternal sisterhood, an eternal bond here. That those 4 years are just a kind of a reminder of the connection that we have. And we haven't yet met in person, although I feel like we're meeting in person all the time when we speak.
We have tea together. It's wonderful.
We do.
And
We
I
do.
got to meet her parents, her
Oh, you
aunt and
did.
uncle and sister this weekend via Zoom.
You did.
I'll tell you, technology is wonderful. I feel like I'm part of the family.
Oh, Gina, you are my family. And I'm just so grateful that you're here today and sharing about you and what you are doing in the world and who you be. I mean, you have 2 shows here on the network.
I do,
You're
and I'm
very
gonna
busy.
plug myself.
Yeah,
Finding the joy in the journey, which is exciting, and I am
good.
blessed to where we talk about that. We talk about joy. We are in this place of, just that joyful journey and allowing it to be that wonderful. And we're also in this place of, sorry, and my peace circles on Monday nights. So that's the other one. So Monday nights where we talk about peace. And for both of them, the gift is that I didn't know how. That's one of the things I want to talk about just real quick.
Yeah.
Is that the reason that I chose that is because there's a lot of people out there that would love peace. And to them, it's a soundbite. Well, yeah, of course I want world peace. Of course I want peace. But no one knows how to get it. So the whole thing is you already have it. So it's realizing it. So just like that screen behind us, that infinite light is within. And it's learning how to tap into within us to find that, to recognize it. It's not about finding it as if it's a hunt. It's recognizing it and being in that place of peace. Or if I'm choosing joy, to be in that joy. How do I bring that about in my life? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How do I embody it to be the change in the world?
Oh, wow. And as you're saying this, I mean, I wanted to ask you a question. I just wanted to kind of to say in here, these two aspects, peace and joy. What an immense thing to, as leaders in the world who, for us here and those that are listening and viewing right now, if you're here and tuned in, you're choosing to lead your life in a conscious way, consciously aware of not only your thoughts and your feelings and intentions and actions, but also aware of, how you're being in this world, what the atmosphere of your life is. And I think I just love it that peace and joy are a part of such a dynamic part of what you're choosing to bring forwards here, Gina, as to teaching and sharing and inspiring people to come from that.
And authentic joy. That's the difference.
Of course.
Authentic joy is within us, spirit. And that it's because it's unchangeable. It's an unchangeable truth. You can't be, there's not some joy. You're either joyful or you're not. You're experiencing joy or you're not. You're experiencing peace or you're not. You're not a little peaceful. You're already there or you're not. And the whole thing is being in the awareness of it is here. Because if spirit's it, I'm it, I know there's only one, therefore it's always where I am. And in that knowing, how do I tap into it? And for me, growing up inner city Boston, there was noise, there was chaos. And I actually, one of the things that I've come to realize is there is no path of peace through chaos. There just isn't. So you get a choice. You could be in the chaos, and that's what the outer world often is. We turn on the news. We get phone calls from people that we love. Right now, there's a storm coming up, that's ready to hit Florida. And
yes,
all of the chaos of the outer world, while it's real, it's not all there is. So it's a question of how do I walk through the eye of the storm in peace?
Yeah.
Because you can't, I know for me, I'm not going to change the outer. I can't stop that storm, but I can not, and I don't even want to say endure. I can experience life without being in the storm, in it, but not of it. And the only way to do that is to practice. These are practices that we can consciously choose. What do I choose today? And, it doesn't mean we don't get triggered. I'm actually 100% Italian and Sicilian. So here I am with this, I have that stubborn streak, and I have that hot, passionate temper, and I get triggered just like everybody else, but I get a choice today. And I'm learning how to act versus react. And my emotions are the how of that. For me,
Yes.
the emotions are the rumble strip. If I'm
Yes.
if I'm not feeling good, whatever that positive emotion I want is, it's like the GPS saying, seek alternate route. And I need to go to the center and go to the center, you know?
Yeah, and that's so powerful because life isn't this, hearts and flowers. I mean, it can be, and we want it to be, and it's not always this rainbow hearts and flowers ideal experience where we're feeling the peace and the joy. It is true. It is a practice of being willing to surrender continually and surrender and not allow the outer to be the definition of who we truly be. Because when we turn away from the outer, still accepting it, knowing that there is this other way of being in the world. And this is what I wanted to ask you, because you're a very busy person. You have a lot going on. You have a ministry that you are a spiritual director of. You're at this kind of pinnacle point now of becoming a minister
Okay,
and
just so you don't know, for
licensing.
anyone that's watching this Monday morning, and you talk about quit, because you're going to say it about me, I'm going to say it about us, okay? This coming Monday, you talk about how things work. Laura, myself, and Michael
Pastor
Mangan,
Michael, yeah,
also the three
and
of us
others.
at 11:30 Eastern time and 9:30 Mountain time. It will be the three of us
4:30 UK.
all paneling at the same moment. 3 separate panels, all for our to become ministers. And it's
That's
very
right.
exciting. We've all gone through this long path, and it's just the way that it's worked. This network is on the move, and the three of us, all part of the prayer team, all with different shows, and all very grateful to be sharing, sharing the message.
It's wild and I love it. I mean, I love it that we met and here we are on this show right here on a Tuesday. And then next Monday, we're going to be, woven into the consciousness of this licensing and paneling and our next kind of step into the becoming of who we are. And it's beautiful. I'm really excited. I'm so excited. And I was going to ask you how with all of this going on in your life, and I know you're busy, 4 grandchildren. Oh, wow. Gina, all hail.
They're
All hail.
adorable. They're all,
Wow.
there's a lot. Everything's a gift. I am blessed to have a wonderful partner. My husband and I have been together. It's over 20 years, and we, it doesn't mean the conditions are perfect, but we are perfect for each other. And it's knowing and in the gratitude of, what a gift to be, with someone that honors me and helps me, not just allows me to shine. I don't mean it that way, because no one should allow you to do anything, but helps me to shine, puts me in the best place I can be. And that's what a partner, if you're, and that can be friends, that can be loved ones, that can be anything. Find your tribe of people that lift you up, that when you're not shining, they see it anyway. When you don't
Yes.
feel it, when you're not experiencing that, when it comes to balance, I have never been great at that. I'm not going to lie. I'm still in the works. I ran until I fell. Like I ran until I couldn't run anymore. And I spent most of my life as a human doing, not a human being. And today I really try to consciously not do that, to be present in the presence to the best of my ability. And there can be a lot going on, but it doesn't have to be as constant as that. So it's
Right.
being mindful in every way. We need to cut and give from the overflow, not our
Yes.
source.
Yes.
And then we need to resource, going back to center, going back to those spiritual practices. And every person needs people in their life, in their tribe, that says you're doing too much. When was the last time you took a nap? When was the last time you took care of yourself? When was the last time, you had a full day? We all need people to remind us of these things. It doesn't come naturally because we're in a society that is bigger, better, faster,
It's,
more. What's
yeah.
next?
And it's like there are a couple of pieces here to this that are just coming forwards for me. First of all, we're busy. Our lives are busy. We have a passion for what we're doing. And if you're watching now, I know you've got a passion for what you're doing. And you're bringing this out into the world. And it can be that, there's a lot to do. There are pieces to create. There are projects to bring forwards. There are communities to build. There are conversations to have, all sorts of things. And sometimes that can, that passion can pull us or push us and pull us at the same time into the demonstration of this. And then we can flag along the way and not realize that we are actually running from the empty cup, not from the overflow. So I think it's so perfect what you've just said. We need others around us to say, hey, have you taken a day off, or have you had a couple of hours just to nap or just to rest? Because there is a pressure, and it can be an internal pressure to have it done immediately. Otherwise, we're not a success. We're not living into the identity of success. We're then living into the identity of not enough, not good enough. And I'd really love you to share on that for a little piece, if you can, to share about that and your idea of this identity of success.
I think, for me, I believe that most people are chasing happiness. You know, I think that most people look at it as, well, I want to get to the top of the mountain. And I call that destination happiness. That's what I call it. And I want to get there. I want to get there. I want to get there. But the truth is, the joy is in the journey. That's why I actually have the show called that, because it's not about getting anywhere. The people in your life, it will never be the same again. You will never be the same age. You will never have the same. If you have children, they'll never be this age again. If you will never be where you are right now. You will never have this view again. What are you doing with it? Are you appreciating it? So many people are so caught up in the rat race that it's like same crap, different day is really what it comes down to. It's like, I've heard that, and it makes me, as a life coach, that makes me cringe when people say that. Yeah, same stuff, different day. It's not. If it's the same, you're doing it wrong. We're not supposed to be living that, although it's been a while. I haven't gone to the gym, but when I was, and I'd see all these people lined up on treadmills, that's, to me, the metaphor of life. Everybody's in a hurry to get nowhere. Everybody's rushing and rushing and rushing, and they're all standing still. And that's what it's like when we're trying to get to the next thing. Well, when I lose the weight, then I'll be happy. Well, when I go on that vacation, then I'll be happy. When I meet the right person, when I have the right job, when I.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always something next. There is always something more. And the secret of life isn't having what I think I want, it's wanting what I have.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, and I'm going to share it just because it fits perfectly, if I can be so self-indulgent. I wrote this afternoon, and it came out pretty quickly.
Oh,
actually.
yes, please share. You can come on the
It's
center
actually
here.
a quick one. And it's be the change. And it says, be the change you choose. Be the change you wish to see, said Gandhi. And I know he was speaking to me. I need not wait for you to agree. I live my life lovingly. I choose my actions, words, and cares, and do my best to help others with theirs. I actively pray and practice peace, for within each is where it lives. I watch and clear my side of the street and consciously try not to judge others. They too are free. I live, love, and laugh as much as I can. And remember, in oneness, we are all in the fam. I celebrate the gifts in my life as much as I can. For in gratitude, I am fulfilled as I am. So it's being in
Yes.
a place of realizing that I am presence is right here. When I'm focused on
Yes.
you and what you do, it's not working. It's about being in that place of my side. Like, what can I do today? How do I show up? And what I ask personally is, what would you have me be? And that's a tall order. That's a tall. Sometimes it's more than I ever anticipated. I certainly never planned to be a minister. I never planned to, and then I would have signed up for ministerial school. There was my one caveat was I was never running a center. I would be a focused minister. I would go wherever, but I was never running a center. And the irony is, a year before I finished ministerial school, I'm running a center. So it's when you say, "What would you have me be?" It comes with the layers
It
of.
comes with the here you are. This is what I would have you be.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And we take that light and go with it. And I feel that, for me, success is so, I've had to create my own idea of success and come away from what I believe, well,
Absolutely.
what I have believed that society, my parents, teachers, even on social media, that being, we're being given a picture of what success should look like so that we are successful. And when we reach this, we're at the pinnacle, and then our lives will be fantastic. I mean, I even scroll on Facebook. I've tried to stop doing that, actually, because it's a continual be better, have more, do better, get more
Bigger,
clients,
bigger,
get
better,
more
faster,
clients,
more. Bigger,
write
better,
more
faster,
books.
more. Yeah.
There's such a pressure to have to over stimulate ourselves with all this stuff, and I think it's kind of taking away from the authenticity, you used that word before, of who we truly are, and tapping into that and bringing that forwards into life without kind of merging into this idea of how it should be because that's how everyone else is doing it. How do we keep our authenticity? How do we keep that, Gina?
It's being the best you can be. I always say I love the analogy of a puzzle piece. If you look at a puzzle, it doesn't matter how many pieces are in the puzzle, every one of them is different colors, different shapes, different sizes. And without every single piece, it's useless. So, in order for us to be at peace, we have to be at peace with our peace, not trying to be
Yes.
someone else's. The color, shape, size, all of that is perfect. Spirit designed it that way. It's not like you would ever go to that puzzle and say, well, I think if maybe we cut off this corner, it'd work better. Or maybe if I used a marker and changed it. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. In the mosaic of life, we're exactly who and where we're supposed to be. But just like that mosaic, if you look at a tile, it looks like nothing. But if
Mm-hmm.
you step back, you see the full picture. That's what our life is. When we look
Yes.
back, we're exactly where we're supposed to be as long as we are living authentically, as long as we are, that daring greatly. I love that quote, that
Brene Brown.
I do. I love that. It's being in a place of understanding that we get a choice. We get a choice. So it's everybody is different, but it's being success to me. I mean, my father-in-law was a custodian at a school. He actually worked as a welder for many years. And then they closed. He showed up one day and, pension and all. And he showed up one day, 30 years later, and there's a lock in the door. So now what is he going to do? And he ended up as a custodian, and he's a fun, kind man that just works really hard. And all of the students knew him, all of the parents knew him, all of the teachers knew him. And they actually honored him with a Mr. Mike Day. And they gave him a golden plunger. And they gave him like gifts, and they gave him gift certificates, and the entire school came together to honor Mr. Mike. He shared his kindness, his love, his gifts so much that the custodian got a day. Now that I say that and I get chills, because that to me is as big a success in life as you can be. To me, that is a pinnacle, when you can do something simple so well that you were acknowledged. And they didn't just do it once, they did it twice. The second time he got, first one was I think it was a plunger, the second one was a broom or something like that. But if you can, but both times he got gift certificates, and Christmas time he'd come home, parents would drop off their kids and bring him Christmas presents. He got, all kinds of gift cards. I mean, I didn't even know who my custodian was. I've never heard of anybody knowing who they were. He would get stopped at restaurants. The kids would run up and hug him. I mean, when you make an impact to that degree, you are living your best life. And that's how I judge. That's why I chose that poem. Because the truth is, when you are the change you wish to see, you're not looking at other sides of the street. You're not looking at what other people are doing. You're saying, what can I be? And the most important thing, and I think any person using their power, it's so important that we remember we are enough. What we do is enough. What we have is enough. What we say is enough. We are enough. Not because we've done X, Y, and Z, but because we were born that way. That infinite life within us is already there. When you shine, you're simply allowing it to be. But it was already there. You don't have to earn it. It's your birthright. You were born with that infinite potential. It's up to you to decide to use it and to be comfortable with it and to shine. And when we do the work that really makes us shine, it replenishes itself. It doesn't deplete us. It motivates us. And yes, even the good stuff can be exhausting. So we have to be careful. That's why we need those friends and that tribe to help us to rein it back in when we're giving so much of it away.
Yeah, and there are always things that are going to be happening in our lives, and this isn't an affirmation. This is just the polarity of this experience of life. There's always going to be things going on, things happening that don't feel good, that don't feel comfortable, that push us to love ourselves more and to accept ourselves more and to be different in these situations that don't feel good. And it's amazing how when I look at these situations more and more, and I see them as treasure boxes for growth and for learning, rather than just going straight to blame. Just it's that person's fault, or even self-blame that I did it wrong and I messed up and I screwed up and got it all wrong. Everything to be kind to ourselves is so important, to be loving, that loving presence to ourselves. That's power. And I think that's success. That in those moments when it's all crumbling, that I can say, okay, I'm going to take a breath and I'm going to be aware of this situation. I'm going to see it differently and love myself within it.
Yes. And that can be the fertilizer of life that allows us to become, in that infinite becoming, and sometimes it just feels like the manure. And sometimes we are, sometimes it's a day, a week, a season, sometimes it's years. And I'm not saying that to, but there are times that it is beyond exhausting, that we are in this place of waiting, just let this be done. Or even worse, like we're in that, what did I do, why do I have to? And the truth is that we are in this place of, we each are learning along the way. I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't go through what I went through. For me, I'm 49 years old, and I have had so much loss. I mean, I know life is eternal, and I know all of that, and I don't say that condescendingly. I know it is, and I'm grateful for that. And
we're human beings.
I also, I had, my mother, father, sister diagnosed stage 4 in a year. I had a whole lot of loss, and I grew up in a big Italian family, and they're all gone. They're not on this plane anymore. Their love may be here, but their memories may be here, and I'm still blessed with a full life. And I miss them all. And grief is not something I sidestep. I am very aware, because the grief that I didn't allow myself to acknowledge as it happened, because I was so busy taking care of everybody else, left me with a dozen tumors in my kidneys. And 2 major surgeries, 2 partial nephrectomies later, it took years to get back on track and feel like myself again. And sometimes, you can lose your way a little bit. And one of the books that I wrote was Finding the Joy in the Journey. Your journey to happiness. It's a 10-step guide to your journey to happiness. And the reason I did that was because in the darkest hours of my life, I'd find moments of joy. I'd find myself laughing at kids in the street, or there'd be something in my life and I'd laugh. And I'm like, but it's horrible. There's awful things going on right now. I felt guilty for feeling good. And the truth is, we're supposed to feel good. And it's okay even to feel, whether I'm not okay, it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to feel okay when everything else is falling apart. It's always accessible. So that's why those 10 steps help. And I have to tell you, I had to pick up my own book because I felt like I felt condescending not. I picked up my own book and read it because I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to tell it to other people, I didn't feel it when I was experiencing, getting back to my physical self. There was a lot of stuff that went on, and there's things that aren't back to where they were prior to. And I know they will be. I am knowing that, and I am living in that knowing. And in this moment, I'm exactly who I'm meant to be because of it. It took it for me. I always tell people that's why part of why I teach what I teach is because I don't want people to do it my way. It took cancer for me to stop. I ran and ran and ran and did more and more and more, and I didn't know how to say no. And it took me running to that degree because there was a part of me subconsciously that thought, if I don't keep all of those balls in the air, if the plates fall, it's like the universe was going to implode. But the universe spun when I stopped. When I was out of commission and couldn't do anything, other people stepped in and did it. So it's being aware that sometimes the best move is no move. And sometimes it takes that breakdown. It isn't really a breakdown. It's a setup for success so that I could go in the direction I was meant to be in. I've never gone to ministerial school if all of that stuff hadn't happened in my life.
I find it amazing how when we live this experience of life consciously and with awareness, that we make choices that may not feel good in the moment, or we have these experiences that really don't feel good in the moment. And yet when we allow ourselves to delve into the reasons of these experiences beyond what it might just feel like in the physical world. When we look at our thoughts and our feelings and our belief systems and what's going on in our consciousness, that we have this incredible opportunity to reveal truth. And then it does turn around in our outer world. Things do, and I think that piece that I was hearing from you, is the word trust. Trusting that
Faith.
what do we,
That's faith.
trusting faith. What I don't see is actually what is life. This is the non-physical that I can work with, that we can work with. And when I stop trying to manipulate and maneuver what's in my world, my physical world, and start by maneuvering what's in here internally within me, everything changes really perfectly, and then I'm on solid ground. So that faith piece and that trust is so vital, isn't it?
My faith is my life raft. I would never be here. I would have never have gotten through a fraction of what has happened in my life. And I'm not being dramatic when I say that. My faith is my life raft. And I know that, and that's because of the practices. We practice these things. It's like a bank account. You don't realize that you're doing it, but every time you do a reading, every time you do a morning meditation, every time you get in that routine and you're doing these spiritual practices, you're putting money in the bank account of faith. And when you need it, it comes back in amazing ways. And, for me, I had miraculous, I was sure I was going to be healed. I was sure. I made my doctor actually scan me before he cut me open. I was sure. And I wasn't. And I was devastated. But I'll say not but and there were so many miracles that happened. So many. And I'm not going to go into all of them, but the second surgery was actually on my left kidney, and it was a guarantee that they were going to have to take it. My surgeon, who was amazing, who out of nowhere appeared, happened to get into the practice a month before, wasn't who my doctor referred me to, yet who I ended up with, who was one of the best in the world, actually did my right kidney, and he referred my case to NIH. So the National Institute of Health took my case. Now, all of these things, I didn't even know NIH existed, let alone that they take private, people. I wouldn't have known any of this. And he put my case in, they took it right away. And within weeks, I was there at the National Institute of Health, where the president goes. This is the hospital the president goes to. And they were taking care of me for free. And all of this was happening in ways that I couldn't have unfolded. I could never, none of this. And, they were able to get everything, and they could take it all. And I woke up completely, basically paralyzed from the neck down. I could barely lift my arms, and I had no use of anything else. And it took days. I was in a coma for 4 days. My poor husband went through hell. And it took days for me to come out of the stupor of the medication even. And when I woke up, and I remember the moment that I actually realized, because I'm like, well, just get me up. They couldn't, because I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand. I couldn't even sit in a chair. I had no ability to do anything. Couldn't even sit in a chair. When I realized that, there was a social worker named Quinn beside me. And I remember clear as day looking at her with tears streaming down my face and saying, as bad as this is, I said, I know that I will walk again. And I know God is going to use this for good. And I was, I was on medication, I was on whatever. But the truth is that's my faith. Like, there was never a doubt in my mind that I would walk. There was never a doubt in my mind that I would be well. There was never a doubt in my mind there was some good that this would be used for. And I look at that now in complete awe, because rational mind would say, are you kidding me? Like really? But even in that almost unconscious state, my faith was so strong that I knew this too shall pass and it'll be okay. And I said, I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know, but I know I'm going to be okay. And when I look at back at that, to me, that's who I want to be. I'm so proud of that. And it may sound silly, but it wasn't even, it was barely conscious. And that's who I truly am. And that's who I want to be. I want to be that dependent on spirit that I know, even when I barely know my name, I know it'll be okay. And it was. It took a lot. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot. I had to learn, I had to get walking again, and there was a lot of physical pain and emotional stuff, and a lot of humbling. There was a lot. And the truth is, I am who I am because of the experiences.
Yes.
But to go through all of that with over a dozen tumors in both kidneys, where normally people would think you're going to be on dialysis for the rest of your life, and have normal kidney functions, to be cancer-free with normal kidney functions after that, is not even this. That's insane. And here I was with, because they were all over. They weren't in one spot. They were all over them. And here I was, and I'm here, and I am okay. And I don't have to be okay in the same person I was then, because I'm not the same person. So sometimes I compare my insides to your outsides, and I get frustrated. And the truth is, I only know me, and I don't know what's going on in your head, and I don't have to.
No. I mean, there's that great book, what you think of me isn't my business. And Terry Cole Whitaker, it's just so true when we're comparing ourselves to others, seeing others on social media, seeing those that we love, even our friends, our family, and thinking, oh, they've got it sorted. They've got that part of their life sorted. And, why haven't I? And that's not a success move as far as I'm concerned. That's just an unloving, that's a way of that's self-punishment, because we're all here as this expression of the divine, learning and growing in our own way. And when we allow that growth to be, just as you did so courageously, Gina, and pouring yourself into that faith of God and allowing yourself to surrender into that. As we learn to do that and trust more and have faith more, we can then tap into the success of, well, I'm here because I'm successful because I'm here and I'm breathing.
Well,
and I'm here and I'm present.
Also, from coaching for years, there are a lot of people that on the outside look like they have everything. Yes. I have worked with doctors in the top of their fields. I have worked with professionals that on the outside, they looked like they had it all, and they were a mess.
Yes.
They absolutely hated their life. I've had many people come to me for coaching and really be in this place of, is this all there is? I've done everything they told me to do. I've gotten the job. I've got a family. Meanwhile, their relationships are crap. They don't have any time for themselves. They don't have self-respect, nor the respect of their children. I've had people that on the outside looked like, wow, they had all the letters after their name, top of their field, and yet they were miserable.
Yeah.
And there are so many people that have more going on than we realize. So be very careful to just, don't compare, identify. And, if there's something in you that I see that I like, and I can say, yes, I have that too, and I can be proud of it, great. But other than that, there is nothing. You have your life. I have my life. We each have our own opportunities. And I may not have whatever yet, but that doesn't mean that, what's my good that's meant for me must come to me.
Yes.
If it's yours and it's meant for you, it'll come to you. No one can take your good except you. If you go to the ocean with a cup, you cannot get more than a cup. If you go to the ocean with a bucket, you'll get a bucket. If you just dive into the ocean because it's all yours and there is no limit, then you have it all. So take it all. The power is not limited. It's not, we have to plug in. Just because the light's not turning on, did you plug it in? Did you resource? You can have everything in the world, but if you're not going to the power source, you have nothing.
And often we have to break down, as you said before, we have to, life will give us that opportunity for growth where if we're looking at, if we're living our lives from the material, from the materialistic, and feeling unfulfilled, feeling that this life is meaningful because we are not tapping into that divine light that is with, like this light behind us that you put up as a background. It's so beautiful. And look at all those multitude of strands of rays of light there. This is each of us individually expressing and lighting as the one. And when we're not tapping into that on a daily basis, we lose sense of who we truly are. And so then we're scrambling to try and keep up with this idea of how it should be. We're living in a celebrity kind of lifestyle life, experience right now where everything's over glamorized, and we've got to keep up with it as far as the mass consciousness is concerned. We've got to have it all and be it all to be a success and to enjoy our lives. And I think that's so important. What you're saying is so many people have unfulfilled lives because they're chasing something that is not meant to fulfill us.
Full and fulfilled are completely different things.
Yeah.
A full schedule is not a fulfilled person. It's just busy. So chaos does not lead to what you need, because peace is part of being fulfilled. It's being able to enjoy what you have. If you're not in gratitude, then you have nothing. You're always in that place of want. The bucket is eternally empty.
Yeah. So there's never enough.
Yeah. It's our perspective. Our lenses that we look through determine our view. So what are we looking for? What are we looking at? And
what are we looking as?
And it comes down to we get a choice in every aspect of life, but so many are not taught. I didn't know any of this. It took going through it and getting help. And that's something that I really want to encourage people. We need each other. We need help, whether it's a counselor or a practitioner, whether it is, go to your minister, go to somebody that you trust and let them know what you're going through. If you're blessed to have wonderful, supportive friends, if they're telling you the right things that are pointing you in the right directions, great. If they're not, don't listen. Part of doing the next right thing is knowing it. And you have an intuition. You have that guide within you. Spirit within you knows. You know when you're in the right direction or when you're not. Your gut instincts tell you because you're either feeling empowered or not. The next right step, that's all we have to do. Martin Luther King said we don't need to see the whole staircase, just the next step, and take it.
Yes. Wow, so powerful, Gina. Thank you so much for sharing today on the Women of Power Hour. I know that everything that you're saying is absolutely dynamic. And if for those that are listening, if you're here right now and listening or watching this later on, even if you catch a segment of this, you're going to be changed by this conversation. You're going to be feeling you can open up and trust and have faith and re-identify your own idea of what success really means. Get a notebook, get a journal on these ideas and expand your mind and your heart, because this is where the true power lies, is when we choose, just as Gina was saying, when we choose to make a difference for our own lives without just accepting that this is the norm. And I don't need to do it, and I don't have to do it. And why should I do it? Well, because when you make those choices to grow and to expand, you will experience a different kind of life. and it will be more fulfilling and more meaningful. And I'm just so grateful, Gina, that you've come onto
Thank
the
you.
program today to share. There's Gina's details. Thank you, Gina, for putting them up. Gina at believingyoutoday.com. Have a look through her website. Have a look at all of the shows that she's doing here on New Thought Media Network.
So this is my email. And I encourage people to
and your
join
website.
Us. It's Gina at Believe in You Today. It's my email address and website. But I also wanted to just mention that we are at 5 p.m. It's actually 5 p.m. on the East Coast, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. CSL Greater Boston, we are aired on this network every Sunday. So, join us in Boston right where you are and be with us. But also this is open to everyone, that as of the 6th, which is next Thursday. So starting next Thursday, we are beginning Sacred Circle at 7. And again, that's Eastern time. So wherever you are. And it will be a sacred conversation. And this is the information. And it is also on the Greater Boston. And you can go to the CSL Greater Boston Facebook page, or also cslboston.org. And you can get the information in the link. But every week is a different spiritual leader. And every week is a different conversation. And anyone, anywhere in the world is welcome. So join us, because it's so important that we have these sacred gatherings of community, of love, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. When we're together and sharing and opening and allowing and hearing and listening and holding that space, it changes so much for our lives. The Women of Power Alliance, which you can find on down below the website. My website is down below. You can also check that out and enter into the group. It's a wonderful opportunity for women to come together and share and talk and support each other with skill sharing. That's what we are being called to do, is to uplift each other and empower each other. And that's why these conversations are so important, because you are not alone. This is the key here. You are not alone. You certainly are not.
And you're not where you are right now. You are not the station in life. You are not what you look like. There's so much more to you than what you look like, than where you think you're, the roles that you play. It's important for us to remember that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To get clear that this external is not the definition of who we are. We can go within and we can find it right here and now. And we can make this experience one of joy and peace. And that's what Gina teaches. And I'm just so grateful that you've been here today, Gina, sharing. And for everyone that's come in and been watching and popping in and out. And if you're here right now and you haven't seen all of this, then you're welcome to go back and retrack and listen to the rest of this show that's just gone. The rest of the show that's just gone, that didn't make sense, to the past hour.
It goes by so fast.
There's a lot of goodies in here. So thank you, Gina. Thank you, Gina. And blessings to you on Monday for this amazing licensing process, and for everybody, for all of us that are going to be engaging with this on Monday. I'm just holding us all in prayer, knowing for our highest good that it's a wonderful experience. And Zoe, welcome, Zoe. It's so great to be with you here. Yes.
He's going to go back and catch what he missed.
Good. And Zoe has a great show here. Choice your creative superpower. What a great title and what a great show. So tune into Zoe's show also, because that's an immense broadcast. And Zoe is a wonderful practitioner and prayer partner here at New Thought Media Network. So we are popping off now. I'm just going to absolutely, before we go, I will put a reminder up that this network, New Thought Media Network, is here. This just blows me away when I say this every time, Gina. This network shows up every single day of the year with incredible broadcasts and shows and entertainment and education and discussion and heated debates and where we're going and where we've come from and new thoughts, what it really means for our lives. And so it's a powerful global focus ministry doing wonderful, wonderful things, changing the way that that we can see ourselves and live our best lives. So go and have a look at the website. I'm just looking here for the here we are. Go and have a look at the website. You'll see an amazing new website with the mission and vision and purpose of the network, and more about the shows and the broadcasts and the presenters and all of the people involved. It's a good delve in. So get a cup of tea, look at the website and enjoy, and you'll see
and links
all of the
to every
times.
show and all the past episodes. You can learn about the hosts and everything. It's wonderful.
All of it. So check it out. And of course, there's a donate button there. If you really love this network and choose to be woven into that support consciousness, then do click the donate link and make your love offering, which is always greatly appreciated. A final word, Gina, for women and of power, or the divine feminine, the powerful divine feminine around the world. A final word from you?
You already are it. You were born it. You were born enough. You are everything you will ever need is within you. The trick is remembering that, practicing it, celebrating it. You know, live your best life now, right where you are. There's no destination to be happy. It's right here, right now. Celebrate it and know that it's enough. More than enough. You are the beloved of the beloved. It's just remembering that. Thank you for having me.
Powerful words. And thank you, Gina, for being here. And we will be back here next week, this time, with Reverend Kathy Mastrani and Wisdom of the Mystics. And our guest next week is Reverend Mark Gilbert, and he will be presenting Christian D. Larson. So this will be an amazing broadcast. Same time next Tuesday. So enjoy this rest of your evening and day, and blessings and love and peace and joy to you. See you again soon. Okay, I'm going to put the video on. The one that I love.